I would say that leadership to me really means transforming vision into action through persuasion. So that's like a nice three-part answer, like a la Yale Law School, I guess. But what it really means is you have to have some kind of an idea of where you want to go or what you want to do. And that would be great just in and of itself. But if you want to be a leader, you need to be able to translate into some kind of action in the world. And not just by yourself, but by persuading other people to go along with you. So I'd say leadership is that kind of three-part formulation, transforming a vision into action through persuasion. And then I would say, if you wanted to think about what great leadership would be, great leadership really requires you to add two elements to it. One, that leadership needs to really be around some kind of moral vision, right? Like leading people to do bad things, I don't think would fall into my definition of what a great leader does. And to do all of those things under uncertainty. And that's, I think, a situation that we constantly face. And that's how I think about leadership. I think really perseverance, right? So, the fund strategy that we run, we started the first at Lightsmith, the first private equity fund focused on adapting to or building resilience to the effects of climate change. And it was extremely difficult to persuade anyone that this was something that was important or that this was something that was investable. And so we started this journey back in 2015-16 when we developed this idea about how to do this. And then it took us 3 years, which is a very long time, to finally get to a first close of that fund, which we're now actively investing. And now we have kind of created this as a category. I think people have now come around to the understanding that climate change is now here and real and impacting society and people and the economy. And this is an enormously challenging area that needs to be really addressed. But persevering through 3 years of persuading people, identifying, defining what that vision looks like, building the team that can actually execute against that idea, that could transform that idea into investment, into action, into manifestation in the world, I think was very difficult. And I don't know if it's stubbornness or perseverance or some combination, but that quality I think is extremely important in a leader also, because it enables you to actually motivate and persuade people to take action when there's dramatic uncertainty around there. Leading during a crisis, I think if I could make 3 recommendations, it's keep your head, keep your team, and keep your values. All right. So keep your head is things are going to be complicated. And as much as we try to plan for the future is going to be increasingly complicated. Climate change is one thing, but there's all kinds of economic developments. I think if you had said 25 years ago, people are going to shut down the entire economy for 2 years and wear masks and not talk to people, I would have said that seems pretty unusual. So remaining calm or trying to remain calm or centered as things are developing is really critical. Keep your team part is really about that. Like if everyone else is concerned or worried, they're not going to be able to pull together and figure out how to adjust to a constantly changing set of circumstances. And then the critical piece is the keep your values piece, because the easiest time to cut corners or to make compromises that you really don't feel good about are when you're in the middle of a crisis. And so knowing really what you stand for and what your values are is critical in moments when things are particularly under stress. And you'll see that repeatedly. When I talk about climate change, it's something that I've sort of been focused on in the last decade or so. It's very easy to look at the size of the challenge that we've created for ourselves and to despair. And in every major set of climate talk discussions that I've been participating in, there's always some sinusoidal movement in my mood where I come to a point where I'm like, well, the ship has hit the iceberg and we're all, forming committees. Like, let's go do something. And the things that kind of pull me through it, that enable me to continue to push forward, even knowing how challenging it is, are the fact that, in 2030, when lots of dramatic things are going to happen, my 7-year-old will be 14, and the life that she's going to face over the remainder of her growing up and her career and her, children's lives is really what all this is about. So remembering that and knowing that at least every day I wake up and I think all of my fancy experience and learning and disjointed, disorganized career has come to a point where I can apply my understanding of the law, my understanding of investment, my understanding of government, the languages I can speak in all those different places, and take every single skill and experience that I have and dedicate it towards doing this thing, which is very difficult, but meaningful. And that's how I know that I am doing the right thing, because I think that's what I can tell my children.